A very good morning to one and all. Today, we are gathered here to celebrate the National Girl Child Day, which we celebrate every year on the 24th of January. This was initiated by the Ministry of Women and Child Development, Government of India, with the main objective to spread awareness and to tackle the issues of inequalities which are faced by the girls in our country and to enlighten everyone about the rights of a girl child. It also increases the awareness and the importance of female education, health, and nutrition. First of all, I take the proud privilege of welcoming respected Ma'am Dr. Surya Rathore, Principal Scientist, will be giving us a lecture on this day. I also welcome our Director, Dr. A.K. Singh, IARI, Dr. Rashmi Agarwal, the Dean and Joint Director, Education, and Dr. B.S. Tumar, the Joint Director, Extension, the respected scientists and students. So before we begin, I request Dr. B.S. Tomar, the Joint Director, Extension, to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Dr. Angel. Very good morning to all. Most respected Honorable Director IARI, Dr. A.K. Singh ji, my colleague, Dr. Rashmi Agarwal, Project Director, Dr. Man Singh, heads of the division, professors of the various disciplines of the institute, and heads of the division from our sister institutes, NCIPM and NBPGR, and my colleagues at the those who have joined the program online. On behalf of my own behalf and behalf of the institute and the organizing committee, I welcome you all and a very warm welcome. And as Dr. Angel has mentioned, that the importance of the National Girl Child Day, and we are here all together to celebrate this function. It is a small function in which we will have number of activities. We will have first the poem recitation from the PG school, which will be just, and then we will have a address words on this occasion from Ms. Shivani Singh, and then Dr. Surya Rathore will give a talk on the given topic, and subsequently this is one of the activities that we have requested to share the selfie with the daughters, and we have received more than 75 selfies, which and will be presented by Dr. Burman, and followed by the address by the chief guest, A.K. Singh, and then program will be concluded with the vote of thanks. With this activity, I again very warm welcome to all of you, and I request Dr. Angel to proceed further in the matter. Dr. Angel, unmute.
Now I request Dr. Rashmi Agarwal, the Dean and Joint Director Education, to kindly give us the highlights of the IARI PG School Girl students.
Thank you, Dr. Angel, and very good morning to all of you. Our Honorable Director, Dr. A.K. Singh, the eminent speaker of today's National Girl Child Day celebration, Dr. Surya Rathore, the directors of the sister institutions who have joined with us, Dr. Shasane from NIPB and Dr. Subhash Chandra from NCIPM, our own eminent heads of the division, PD, Dr. Man Singh, heads of division, professors, faculty, students, ladies and gentlemen. It is really a very proud moment for all of us and a matter of pleasure that we are celebrating today the National Girl Child Day. And as Angela also mentioned that this started in 2009, although it was announced by the Ministry of Women and Child Development in 2008, the first celebration year was 2009. And the aim and objectives were very clearly defined by, given by Dr. Angela. In this direction, I just briefly tell you that in one of the surveys conducted by the ministry in 2011, the female population of the country was 48.04%. But I am happy to say that in recent survey conducted by the National Family and Health Survey, under this survey, we found that at present, the women population is 1,020 per 1,000 men population in the country. So it's really a very positive sign, and we are very happy to say that now the women population is increasing. It is becoming like the ratio is better now. And if you talk of in the world population, the highest female population is amongst the countries in Nepal, which is more than 54%. And as Angela said, that I'll be little briefly telling you about the PG school and what is the status of girl students at IARI. You know that our postgraduate school is working, and our IARI is a deemed to be university, which we got in 1958. And I recall in 1980, when I joined as a student in IARI, there were hardly around 10% or so were the students, girl students among the whole of the students getting entry into our institution. But if you talk of the present enrolled girl students in PG school, I will say that at present on roll, we have 454 girl students doing PhD. And for under MSc, we have 185 girl students. So roughly it is 40% of the our student intake is of the girl students. And last year, we admitted around 109 girl students in PhD program and 87 under MSc and MTech program in 2021. So it's such a overwhelming response by the girl students, and we always keep hearing from each discipline that girl students are performing much better than many of their male contemporary students. So this is really a very good number that we are getting now. And among these, we have good number of foreign students also. And among the foreign students admitted to or they are enrolled at IRI, 8 of them are foreign students. So it's a good number. And another figure I would like to share with you that for the last 2 years, we are having ICR PDFs in our institute. And last year, 2021, we selected 10 PDF candidates. And you will be very happy to note that out of 10, 6 were the girl PDFs. And they performed so well. I can name a few, and Aruna Devi is one of them, and she really very good piece of work and published her research carried out during PDF in a very high impact journal. So this is really very encouraging and appreciative of all the girl students who are there in PG school at IRI. And this particular today's celebration is sponsored by our Gati program. This Gati is a gender advancement for transforming institutions, which is funded by our Department of Science and Technology. So they have launched this program, and in our institute, we have started this program under the nodal officership of Dr. Alka Singh, Head Division of Agriculture Economics. And this is the project which is to attract, recruit, retain, and promote women into scientific laboratories and institutions of higher education. And this is very well seen that how much number of girl students are getting admitted in this higher education program at IRI. So under this Gati program, the gender equality in STEM, the science, technology, engineering, management, and medicine, these are developed to bring transformation in the policies to empower women. So under this program, I'm happy to share with you that we have started one Women Scientist, Best Women Scientist Award also from this particular year. So this is in brief, I wanted to share with you the PG school activities. And besides this, our PGSSU has 2 posts, Vice President and the Cultural Secretary for the women candidate from among the students. So that's also very encouraging. And all the girl students are taking part in many of the cultural activities, on-spot competitions, and also in a Rangoli competition and sports and other activities. So they are very good performers, and they have got very good certificates and merit certificates in these contests. And today also you will see the poem recitation competition also. We have girl participants also. So and among the faculty also we have very good number, and also the heads of the division. At one time we had more than 8 among the disciplines at IARI who were heads of division were women scientists. So this is all that institute is doing for empowering girl students and giving them higher education in almost all the disciplines at IARI. So thank you so much, and over to Angela.
Thank you, ma'am, for briefing us about the different roles played by the girl students in our institute. So next we will move on with the poem recitation competition. And in this section, there will be a chairman, which is headed by Dr. Man Singh. He's the professor and project director of WTC, with the jury members of Dr. Arun Pardaria. He's the head of Agriculture Extension, and Dr. Vishnu Maya from Plant Pathology. So they will be the judging the poem recitation by the different students. So I request Dr. Man Singh to kindly say a few words.
Thank you very much, Angela. I'm grateful to the Honorable and the other organizer, Dr. Rashmi, for choosing me as the chair for the judging committee. I'm really grateful. I would like to convey my greetings to all the girls for the National Girl Child Day, which is being celebrated. We look forward to the recitation of the different participants. But before that, if I'm permitted, I can say a few things for the awareness. Indian Constitution, family inheritance, the Parliament, and others were very active during 2002 to 2007, when President was Dr. Abdul Kalam, part of the period of Prime Minister Dr. Vajpayee and Dr. Manmohan Singh. During that period, first law was passed that the girl child would have equal share in the family inheritance. That was the first information to the public domain from Indian constitutional provisions. And after that, after 15 years or so, there were several discussions, and then the Supreme Court intervened, and they have given the equal right to the girl child. And the latest, on 20th January 2022, there was another explanation or expansion of those provisions. There, the Supreme Court has given a verdict that the girl child would have equal share in the inheritance from their grandparents. Subsequently, they also ruled out that the provision of parents, the girl parents, they cannot, take a decision unilaterally on their earnings, and they made a provision if the parents did not declare a will on the demise of the parents, naturally, the share of the parents' earning will also be shared with the girl child equally. So this is the latest position of 20th January 2022. These are just for the awareness for all the people, because I have been going through all that. Although I was not knowing that today I'll get a chance to speak something, because very early morning, Dr. Rashmi called me and informed about it. And then I would like to say very briefly that we generations, if we look at our Nana Nani's daughter, that is our mother, we would all realize that even if they were housemaker, they were not earning money, but what they have earned for the family, to raise family, their sacrifice, their contribution, mother's contribution, who is the daughter of or Nana Nani would be much more than the parent or the family head who earn a lot of things economically. These are all for the current generation's girl. I would like to very quickly add 3 points to the girls, which is in the very context. The dear girls, collect knowledge, not marks. Collect skills, not grade points. Collect health, not wealth. Then we would be really very happy in this society, because ultimately girls are responsible for the future generation with a Matri Shakti. Dhanyavad. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I'll be calling the names of the students who will be giving or who will be reciting the poems. So to begin with, Balaji B from Division of Molecular Biology and Biotechnology.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, this poem is written by me. The title I have given is The Love for the XX Chromosome. Can I recite it now?
Yes, please.
Like the morning meadows of dew, your tender kiss that wake my everyday an auspicious beginning. My heart is filled with colors of love, like you painted the scribbling masterpieces on the walls of house. In the night I have nightmares. You appear like the luminous moon, changed my gloomy nights into dazzling brights. With the moon, stars, and your stories as lullabies, I slept with all the pains buried inside and vanished. In the lawn, surrounded by the bush of thorns and spines, you are the bloomed rose, spreading the fragrance of pure. You are the brave lioness, with silence as you roar, replacing kingdom by queendom, conquering the hearts of love. I can feel the freedom of love. Holding a tender, soft, velvet fingers, make my walks to the endless miles. Nothing in this world give tranquil life except your elegant smile. Inside you, there is a fierce flaming fire surrounded by the skin that welcomes pain like the earth. Nothing felt purpose in the life until your birth. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you, Balaji. Now I request Simardeep Kaur from Division of Biochemistry.
Hello. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Can I start?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. We are all so different and yet so much the same. Everyone in some way or another experiences a kind of a pain. Just as the earth goes through seasons, so does a girl in the course of time endures various seasons. Good morning to all. Myself, Simardeep Kaur, PhD student of Division of Biochemistry, going to describe various phases or transition of a girl's life, starting from her mother's womb to facing challenges, traumas, insecurities, and ultimately victory and pride with her brave actions and hard work and dedication. The thoughts and examples in this script are my own original creation, and I have entitled my poetry as Girls, the Unsung Hero of Our Lives. She was born an angel made of hope and light, had universe of her own and flame in her eyes. Unfortunately, she became one of the brightest stars and twinkling in the sky brightly with the pride. But another loud voice said, "Oh mother, I am your beautiful pearl. You thank you for introducing me in this world. And oh father, give me freedom and give me power. Just rely on me and I'll be your beautiful, precious flower." But still, her eyes were hollow, heart was shallow. Childhood full of discrimination and chaos eventually led to her soul's loss. And on one horrifying day, her blood boiled in every vein, like a flicker in every flame. She kept on thinking it was her fault for every rape and even Nirbhaya's assault. Fearful memories haunt her brain, but society still feels she is the one to blame. Every night when she is awake, she wonders how much she can take. And on one sunny day, her inner voice said The time has come when she needs to run for her dignity and freedom, and to hold on to all the shun. It's time to close her eyes to the drastic past and open her arms to welcome a new life with her own telecast. And on other bright day, with thousands of what ifs in her mind, she stepped into a classroom with her brain fully inclined. When the funds are low and debts are high, she wants to smile, but she has to sigh. When every aspect is pressing her down a bit, she still decides to not to quit. She crowned her education as a passport to success and inheritance of no stress. Graduated from university, she has really come far. Rejoice and happy, she said, accept who you are. Now addressing every day with purpose and aim, she make this world her favorite living game. However, don't pause. Her story is not done yet. While the world still today, as of now, keep chasing her to go for perfection, she always choose vulnerability with her brave actions. And the tables have turned when a pure soul becomes her world. And he confirmed that loving you is what I want to do. Tears in my eyes has nothing to do if I'm with a woman that is you. So there is a peaceful, there is a wild. She is both at same time. She feels love in her family with a warm golden glow while working tirelessly to construct a life that she has always dreamed of. She scripts and writes the story of her children and light up their life and get front row tickets to their every win along with being a super wife. You see her as a caretaker, homemaker, and a mom. But trust me, at same time, at her workplace, she's not less than Kalpana Chawla and Mary Kom. So she's a girl with values and honors, with secrets and demons, pretty woman with hidden scars and huge bazaar. But when you meet her, you will find a full bloom smile and a shining sparkle in her eye. You will like her because she is generous and wise. Still, she talks about possibilities and positivities and courageous enough to face any fight. But however, unfortunately, society says you stand nowhere. But see, each nook and corner, she is everywhere. She is a scientist, doctor, lawyer, player, astronaut, and a member of a jury. She is Sunita Williams, Jennifer Doudna, Rosalind Franklin, and Madam Mary Curie. To crown her with education, she'll bring honor for the nation. Let her go to ground and college. She'll come home with a person full of knowledge. Thus, witnessing immense violation, huge deprivation, she still perform best at her occupation and fly high with prominent reputation. She faces massive discrimination and trauma. But at the same time, we shouldn't forget, and we shouldn't ever never forget that चमक उठी सन 57 में वो तलवार पुरानी थी. चमक उठी सन 57 में वो तलवार पुरानी थी. बुंदेले हरबोलों के मुंह हमने सुनी कहानी थी. खूब लड़ी मर्दानी वो तो झांसी वाली रानी थी. खूब लड़ी मर्दानी वो तो झांसी वाली रानी थी. Thank you so much. Happy National Girl Child Day, and I'm thankful to and grateful to IARI for providing especially daughters a great direction for her better and prosperous future. Thank you. Have a good day to all.
Anupama Roy, Division of Bioinformatics.
Hello.
Yes,
Good
Anupama.
afternoon. Am I audible now?
Yes. you can
Okay.
start.
आप सबको सबसे पहले तो शुभकामनाएं इस नेशनल गर्ल चाइल्ड डे पे. तो मैं अपनी एक स्वयं रचित कविता आपके सामने प्रस्तुत करने की अनुमति चाहूंगी, जिसका नाम मैंने रखा है कि देवी. वो बेटी नहीं तुम्हारे आंगन देवी आई है. वो बेटी नहीं तुम्हारे आंगन देवी आई है. तुम्हारा सौभाग्य है कि खुद चल के आई है देवी. सरस्वती की तरह ज्ञानी है, लक्ष्मी के जैसे भाग्य लाई है, दुर्गा के जैसे तेज है, अग्नि के जैसे तपिश भी है. अगर रूठ जाए या टूट जाए, अगर रूठ जाए या टूट जाए, खप्पर उठा के काली भी है. गंगा की तरह शीतल है, यमुना की तरह चंचल भी है, उर्मिला की तरह धैर्य भी है, द्रौपदी की तरह साहस भी है. वो सिर्फ बेटी नहीं, वो सिर्फ बेटी नहीं तुम्हारे घर में साक्षात देवी ही है. सिया के बिना राम भी लगे अधूरे, सिया के बिना राम भी लगे अधूरे, शक्ति के बिन शिव भी पूरे न लगे. सिया के बिना राम भी लगे अधूरे, शक्ति के बिन शिव भी पूरे न लगे. कृष्ण भी लगता है आधा सा, कृष्ण भी लगता है आधा सा, थोड़ा जो राधा का नाम ना जोड़ा, हजार जन्म लाखों अच्छे कर्म फिर लेती है जन्म देवी। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Anupama. Now I request Latif Bashir, Division of Plant Genetic Resource.
Hello, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, please go ahead.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Good morning. I welcome you all on the occasion of this Daughters' Day 2022. I am dedicating my poem to those daughters of my nation who made a special place in our hearts and are inspirations for all those who want to achieve their dreams. This poem has been written by me, and each and every line of my poem is related to some famous daughter of my nation and their related contributions of which they are famous for. Hope you will enjoy it. So let me start from the freedom fighter. She is the Jhansi Ki Rani, the freedom fighter, the leading warrior. She earned eternal glory and salvation. She is the daughter of my nation. She is the Mother Teresa, the missionary of charity. She is a Nobel Peace Prize admiration of my nation. She is the Kalpana Chawla, the space eagle, the robotic ankle. She is the angel of exploration. She is the daughter of my nation. She is the PT Usha, the queen of Indian track and field. She is the athletic inspiration. She is the daughter of my nation. She is the Mary Kom, the magnificent Mary. She is the boxing magician. She is the daughter of my nation. She is the Bachandri Pal, the wizard of Everest. She is the Padma Bhushan aspiration. She is the daughter of my nation. She is the Sarla Thukral, the gypsy moth tycoon. She is the flying jet sensation. She is the daughter of my nation. She is the Saina Nehwal, the undisputed badminton victor. She is the gallantry disambiguation. She is the daughter of my nation. She is the Rita Faria Paul, the model, the doctor, the beauty queen. She is the Miss World coronation. She is the daughter of my nation. At last, for all those daughters who want to achieve their dreams, these lines are for those. You are the pride, so put the pedal on the medal. You are our ornamentation. You are the daughter of my nation. This was all about my poem. Through my poem, I revealed contribution of few of the veteran daughters of my nation. Likewise, our history is full of such more daughters who made our nation proud before the world, who proved that daughters have enough caliber to achieve their dreams, who proved that daughters are not less than anyone, who proved that daughters are not just a child or a mother, they are the mentors, they are the heroes, they are the legends, they are achievers, and they are the history makers as well. In short, a daughter is the best thing that can happen to the parents because she fills your heart with magic and love. She don't deserve hatred. She don't deserve harassment. She don't deserve ignorance. She don't deserve humiliation. She simply deserves to grow and learn and explore like any other person in the world. She simply deserves to be treated with love, kindness, respect, and joy. With this, I am finishing here my turn. Happy Daughter's Day. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Latif. I request if any other student is there who is ready to present or recite the poem.
Hello, ma'am. Good morning. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, Aarti.
Ma'am, I'm Aarti Kumari. I want to recite a poem which is based on Dahej, dowry. This is a Hindi poem, and because every time in news we will see that a girl child or a woman have to suffer a lot due to Dahej. So I wrote this poem, and I want to just pass this message to all of you. And this is my poem. Title is Dahej. कहते हैं बेटियां पराया धन होती है, फिर इस धन को संभाल कर रखने के लिए किसी और धन की जरूरत क्यों पड़ती है? हम कहते हैं दहेज, क्या वो सौदा नहीं? हम कहते हैं कन्यादान, क्या ये झूठा नहीं? क्योंकि कन्यादान की है तो दहेज की जरूरत ही नहीं। बेटियां तो बाबुल के घर की चिड़िया होती है जो अपनी चहचहाहट से पूरे घर को खिलखिला देती है। बेटियां तो बाबुल के घर की गुड़िया होती है। यही गुड़िया कभी माँ तो कभी पत्नी तो कभी बहन बनकर साथ देती है। तो फिर इन रिश्तों की शुरुआत दहेज रूपी धन से क्यों होती है? एक गरीब कौड़ी कौड़ी जमा करके बेटी की शादी के सपने देखता है। उसकी पूरी मेहनत की कमाई इस दहेज रूपी डायन को दे देता है। सोचो कि नई रिश्ते की बुनियाद दहेज नहीं बल्कि प्यार और विश्वास के साथ हो तो फिर बेटियां बोझ नहीं बल्कि गौरव समझी जाएं। Thank you, ma'am. This is all about my poem.
Thank you, Aarti, and hope you get well soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I invite
Hello,
Deepti
ma'am.
Tiwari, the Cultural
Yes, ma'am.
Secretary of PGS students, to say a few words.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And as I'm cultural secretary of, ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So as I am cultural secretary in PGSSU, so I would be like reciting one poem, but if judges want to keep me out of the competition, they can. So first of all, as the topic is कि बेटियां दुआएं हैं, तो बेटियां क्या होती हैं? 1 मिनट उसके लिए कि बेटियां शुभ कामनाएं हैं, बेटियां पावन दुआएं हैं, बेटियां जीनत हदीसों की, बेटियां जातक कथाएं हैं, बेटियां गुरु ग्रंथ की वाणी हैं, बेटियां वैदिक रचनाएं हैं, जिनमें खुद भगवान बसते हैं, बेटियां वे वंदनाएं हैं, त्याग तप गुण धर्म साहस की बेटियां कथाएं हैं। मुस्कुरा के जो पीर पीती हैं, पीर मतलब दुख, तो मुस्कुरा के जो पीर पीती हैं बेटियां वैसी हर्षित व्यथाएं हैं, लू लपट को दूर करती बेटियां जल की घटाएं हैं। इस प्रदूषण भरे जमाने में, दिल्ली, इस प्रदूषण भरे जमाने में बेटियां सुरभित फिजाएं हैं, दुर्दिनों के दौर में देखा है बेटियां संवेदनाएं हैं। तो जैसा कि आजकल लोग फेमिनिज्म की बात करते हैं, तो अगर कोई मुझसे पूछे कि बेटियों को क्या चाहिए, वी डोंट क्वालिटी, तो सुमित्रा महाजन जी जो कि हमारे लोकसभा की हेड भी रह चुकी हैं, तो उन्होंने चेयर रह चुकी हैं, उन्होंने बहुत अच्छी 4 लाइनें कही थी कि देवी ना मानो मुझे तुम फूल चढ़ाकर, कि हमें एक्स्ट्रा टेंशन नहीं चाहिए कि आप हमें देवी मानिए, दासी ना बनाना तुम मुझे शूल चुभोकर, राह बनाऊंगी मैं अपने ही दम पर, मतलब अपना रास्ता मैं खुद ढूंढ लूंगी, बस थोड़ी सी जगह दे देना इंसान समझकर। सो दिस इज व्हाट अ गर्ल वांट्स। मैंने एक पहले प्रोग्राम हुआ था और ये कुछ मेरी बहुत फेवरेट एक पोएम है और मैं यहाँ दोबारा उस पोएम को बोलना चाहूंगी कि आज हम बेटियों को एम्पावर होने की जरूरत है, हर एक तरीके से, बी लाइक फाइनेंशियली इंडिपेंडेंट होने की जरूरत है, एजुकेशनली हमें बहुत स्ट्रांग होने की जरूरत है, एंड इवन वी नीड टू बी फिजिकली वेरी स्ट्रांग. There is one very famous poem and one of my most favorite poem, and I would like to recite it here. उठो द्रौपदी वस्त्र संभालो अब गोविंद न आएंगे. वो पुराना जमाना हो गया जब द्रौपदी को बचाने के लिए गोविंद आए थे, बट उठो द्रौपदी वस्त्र संभालो अब गोविंद न आएंगे, छोड़ो मेहदी भुजा संभालो खुद ही अपनी चीर बचा लो. धूत बिछाए बैठे शकुनी मस्तक सब बिक जाएंगे, उठो द्रौपदी वस्त्र संभालो अब गोविंद न आएंगे. कब तक आस लगाओगी तुम, कब तक आस लगाओगी तुम बिके हुए अखबारों से, कैसी रक्षा मांग रही हो दुशासन दरबारों से. स्वयं जो लज्जाहीन पड़े हैं वो क्या लाज बचाएंगे, उठो द्रौपदी वस्त्र संभालो अब गोविंद न आएंगे. कल तक जो अंधा राजा, मतलब यहाँ धृतराष्ट्र की बात हो रही है, कल तक जो अंधा राजा अब तो गूंगा बहरा भी है, होंठ सिल दिए हैं कानों पर उनके पहरा. तुम ही कहो ये अश्रु तुम्हारे, अगर हम अश्रु बहाते भी रहे तो तुम ही कहो ये अश्रु तुम्हारे किसको क्या समझाएंगे. So at the end I would like to say that make your daughter so capable that you need not to worry that who is going to marry your girl. Make your daughter so independent that you should be proud of them. Like instead of saving money for their marriages and for dowry, as Arki said, for dowry, spend it well on their education so that they can be well educated, and do not prepare them for their marriages. Prepare them for herself, like prepare her for herself, teach them self-love and confidence and boldness and like independence. So this is all what I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deepti, for the beautiful poem as well as for the arrangement which you have done so that the students can come here and recite their poems.
Thank you very much.
I request the chairman, sir, if he has to say something after the poem recitation.
Thank you. I just wanted to be sure that whether we can include the last presenter in the competition, because you invited her for saying few words as a cultural seki. So because she mentioned also something, if you want, you can include her. So I need a clarity on that so that we can do justice. Maybe the chairperson or the honorable director can give direction, if at all.
Director, sir.
It's okay. She's also our student, so she can be part.
Yeah, she should.
Yeah, because okay, fine. So now we consider that.
Okay, sir.
So I think we, because we are remotely connected, we have to converse. So I think the result can be communicated later on, Madam Dean.
Yes, sir. You just make scores and get ready. Maybe by our honorable director, the result can be shared.
Okay, so
when
we
his
will.
turn comes,
Okay,
so you
thank
can
you.
just send
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Sir, myself, Anamika, and I want to present a poem written by the poet Celeste Loda. क्या लिखूं कि वो परियों का रूप होती है या कड़कती ठंड में स्वाति धूप होती है। क्या लिखूं कि वो परियों का रूप होती है या कड़कती ठंड में स्वाति धूप होती है। वो चिड़ियों की चहचहाट होती है या निश्चल खिलखिलाहट होती है। वो होती है उदासी के हर मर्ज की दवा की तरह या वो होती है उमस में शीतल हवा की तरह। वो आंगन में फैला उजाला है या पापा के गुस्से पे लगा ताला है। वो पहाड़ की चोटी पे निकले सूरज की पहली किरण है या जिंदगी सही जीने का आचरण है वो ताकत जो छोटे से घर को महल कर दे, है वो काफिया जो किसी गजल को मुकम्मल कर दे। क्या लिखूं कि वो परियों का रूप होती है या कड़कती ठंड में स्वाति धूप होती है। वो है एक ऐसी नदी जो झिलमिलाती है वो आकाश गंगा जो खिलखिलाती है वो शब्द जो ना हो तो वर्णमाला अधूरी है वो जो सबसे ज्यादा जरूरी है। सांस तो नहीं वो क्योंकि बेटियां एहसास होती है, बेटियां पावन दुआएं होती है। बेटी थी तो आप हैं, बेटी थी तो हम हैं, बेटी है तो आज है, बेटी है तो कल है। बेटी थी तो आप हैं, बेटी थी तो हम हैं, बेटी है तो आज है और बेटी है तो कल है। क्या लिखूं कि वो परियों का रूप होती है या कड़कती ठंड में स्वाति धूप होती है। थैंक यू।
Thank you. So now I'll move on and invite Ms. Shivani Singh. She is the daughter of our respected director, Dr. A.K. Singh. I would like to give briefly about her biodata. She completed her BA in Economics from Hindu College, MA and MPhil in International Relations and Politics from JNU, Delhi. She worked with the Institute of Peace and Conflict Studies as a researcher in nuclear security for 2 years. She went on to pursue her PhD from Aberystwyth University, UK, and is the recipient of Aberdoc and President's Scholarship. Her interest areas include nuclear security, disarmament, and non-proliferation, with a special focus on South Asian region. She is also the Vice Chair, the Postgraduate Network Committee of British International Studies Association. So I would now invite and request Ms. Shivani Singh to give her thoughts on empowering the girls through better education.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. A.K. Singh for giving me this excellent opportunity to share some thoughts on the occasion of National Girl Child Day as a young professional and an academic. But before I begin, I would also like to appreciate all the wonderful and encouraging poems that we got to hear today. Very well recited and very well thought out. So congratulations to everyone who participated in the competition. So as we all know, and it has been stated before, started as an initiative by the Ministry of Women and Child Development in 2008. National Girl Child Day is celebrated as an occasion to spread awareness about the rights of the girl child, the importance of women empowerment in every field of social life, including education, health, medicine, and so on. And it also gives us an opportunity to discuss and brainstorm ways in which we as a nation can foster the development and the progress of a girl child. Now, there's a famous quote by Gordon B. Hinckley, which reads, "To save a girl is to save generations." And this rings loud and clear in today's society, especially given the huge footprint that women have had nationwide as well as globally. And if we talk about women, especially of Indian origin, you have so many stellar women, inspirational women who have laid the path for the future young women. And that obviously includes, people like Indra Nooyi, who's the former CEO of PepsiCo, Arundhati Roy, who is a critically acclaimed author, Mary Kom, who we all know, the great boxing champion, and whose name has been mentioned quite a few times in this event as well. You have Irom Sharmila, who's also known as the Iron Lady, who was a political activist who stood tall in opposition of the AFSPA Act, and so many more such women. And all these women have been trailblazers who overcame all odds and adversities and went on to inspire a whole generation of young women. And in many ways, set the foundations for a progressive society that treats its women at par with men. However, despite having such inspirational role models, the problem of gender inequality continues to be one of the most acute challenges that face India today. And the problems range from a skewed sex ratio to inaccessibility of girl child to education, unfair treatment in workplace, growing instances of rape and sexual harassment, and the list goes on. Now, while there are various aspects of gender inequality that one can talk about, I would like to focus on education. And that's for a very simple reason. That's because a fair part of gender inequality arises from the insecurity that is cultivated in young women, in girl child, that, somehow she is not valuable enough to the society, that her only job is to take care of the household. And this insecurity can take deep roots into the minds of these young women, rendering them almost incapable to fight off any injustices that they're subjected to. Now, while there are social, normative, and cultural factors that have an important role to play in alleviating these narratives, education, I believe, can be a really important tool and a solution in alleviating this insecurity. Amartya Sen, who, as we all know, the famous economist, said that not to be able to read or write or count or communicate is a tremendous deprivation. The extreme case of insecurity is the certainty of deprivation and the absence of any change of avoiding that fate. He also notes that the relative respect and regard for women's well-being is strongly influenced by their literacy and educated participation in decisions within and outside the family. So it is a well-established fact now that education does influence in positive ways women's progress. So we need to pay closer attention to that. And just to state some data and statistics regarding this point, according to the latest 2021 Global Gender Gap Index, India ranks 140th out of 156 countries. And it stands very close to China, which ranks the last on the index, the 156th position. And this is an interesting thing to note because India and China are two of the fastest growing economies in the world. But having a ranking so low on the Global Gender Gap Index, it indicates some very dangerous trends that we need to be aware of. What this essentially means is that while we are growing as a nation in terms of economic indicators, in terms of GDP growth rate, that growth in many aspects is not as inclusive. And neither are the benefits of the growth being accrued equally to different sections of the society, and women obviously being the worst affected. And this whole situation has been made even more precarious due to the current pandemic. Since the pandemic began, women's labor force participation has fallen to 11% compared to 71% for men. On the education front, the numbers are even more grim. Before the pandemic began, around 40% of the over 30 million out-of-school children in India were adolescent girls. However, because of the pandemic and given the dips in jobs and the resultant incomes, the ratio has further tilted against girl-child accessibility to education. And there's a very simple reason for that, is because when incomes go down, especially in rural areas, girl childs are the first ones to be pulled out of school. In addition to this, there also exists a huge digital divide, with more men having access to mobile phones and internet than girls. And therefore, if there is any catching up to do online for the school syllabus, it's easier for boys than for girls. Now, as grim as the situation sounds, the situation is being recognized by the Indian government, as is evident in the slew of schemes that have been introduced by the government, which includes, obviously, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, Mukhyamantri Rashtriya Yojana, CBSE Udan scheme, and many more such initiatives. However, we do have a very long way to go in rectifying the situation and restoring the balance. Now, I'm also a girl and I can share my experience here, but I would be remiss if I don't acknowledge that my experience doesn't even close to comparing to what millions of girls face every day in India. Just to give a little bit of backdrop, me and my sister, we happen to be the few lucky ones to have been born in an upper middle class family with enough resources to support all our professional endeavors. I was also lucky, extremely lucky, to have parents, both of whom are PhDs, who never made me and my sister feel that we were less than. We were always encouraged in the best way possible to achieve all our dreams. And had it not been for the grit and the perseverance of my parents, who motivated us at every stage of our lives, I would not be where I am today. In addition to that, I was also lucky to have been educated in some of the most prestigious institutions in India, including University of Delhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, where I did my master's and my MPhil. And now I'm obviously, sitting in front of you from UK, pursuing my PhD. And I understand that it is an extreme privilege to have had all these experiences. But what I want to emphasize on is that everyone is not that lucky. And especially for girls, every day is a fight. And that is something that me and many others like me are cognizant of. Speaking in the broader context of education and academia, since I am an academic myself, one realizes that there is an acute problem of underrepresentation of women, not only in higher education, but also in university settings. And you'd be surprised to know that this problem of underrepresentation is not only specific to India, it is actually worldwide. Women in academia earn less than their male peers. They take longer to get tenure positions. They occupy fewer positions in top leadership roles. They receive fewer grants and scholarships. In fact, only 44% of the tenure track faculty and 36% of full professors are women. And if we talk about Europe, where I'm situated, this percentage hovers between 20 to 33%. And only 15% of the tenure track faculty in engineering on average are women. And these numbers are even more grim in case of, women of Black, Asian, minority ethnic groups. So there are different layers of inequalities, and when one begins to peel off each layer, you see that there are gender differences, there are caste differences, there are race differences, and so on. So all these sort of inequalities need to be seen in conjunction with one another and not in silos. So clearly there's a lot of work that needs to be done in bringing forth women of talent and caliber, especially in academia, which would then further encourage young women to fight for their education and to teach a whole generation after them. And there are obviously a lot of positive trends, as has been pointed out by speakers before me, that the situation is changing, it's improving, and that's a very positive sign. I think I will leave it here and hand it over to the next speaker, who will delve a little deeper into the issue of women in academia and especially STEM. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Shivani, for sharing us with your thoughts about the women there as well as here in India. Thank you so much for being with us. Now we will be having a special lecture on motivating girls for higher participation in STEM by Dr. Surya Rathore, the principal scientist from NAM, Hyderabad. So we begin the lecture. I request Dr. Rashmi Agarwal, the dean, to briefly introduce her.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Angela. It's my pleasure and privilege to introduce to the audience, to the all attendees, Professor Surya's brief profile. Dr. Surya is Principal Scientist in the Division of Extension Systems Management at National Academy of Agricultural Research Management, Hyderabad. She has a vast experience of teaching, research, and extension in various capacities and has contributed significantly for the growth and development of the discipline of agricultural education and extension. She served as professor and associate professor in agricultural communication at Gobind Wallam Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar. And she also worked on various research before joining NAM. So she also worked on various research projects and developed PG courses on gender mainstreaming and communication evaluation. She is also a certified trainer of University Grants Commission for capacity building of women managers in higher education. She had been organizing this, empowering women and educating them for managerial posts. And having also, she worked at Krishi Vigyan Kendra at Central Arid Zone Research Institute, Jodhpur. And there she could study the rural areas and how there is a changing scenario, and many other sectors also she worked upon. She has presented many research papers in national and international conferences, and also very widely traveled. In some of the countries I'll name: Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, United States of America, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Germany. These are the few countries where she has visited them on various assignments. And she also got a large number of awards, and to name a few, best paper award by Indian Society of Extension Education, then Shiksha Ratan Puruskar of IIFS. So I would like to invite Dr. Surya Rathore. We are all eagerly waiting to hear Dr. Surya.
Thank you, ma'am. Honorable Director and Vice Chancellor, IARI, Dr. A.K. Singh, Joint Director Education, Dr. Rashmi Agarwal, Joint Director Extension, Dr. Tomar, my colleagues from Extension, Dr. Padaria, women scientists familiar to me like Dr. Veena Gupta, Dr. Alka Singh, faculty members, officers, and students of this great agricultural institute situated at Pusa, New Delhi, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to thank the organizers for considering me worthy of making a deliberation on National Girl Child Day 2022 celebration under the banner of IARI New Delhi. We all know women and girls, they represent half of the world's population, and it's crucial to accelerate their development. The world needs to pledge to empower young girls and women, to give them proper health care, skill-based learning facilities, and equal opportunities, and a world that is free from gender-based violence and discrimination. Let us talk about the genesis of this particular celebration. This celebration, as Dr. Rashmi pointed out, it started on January 24, 2009. And Ministry of Women and Child Development was the one who started this. But why only on January 24th? Why was this day chosen? Let us talk about that. This day was chosen to celebrate Mrs. Indira Gandhi's as Prime Minister of India. Like, she was sworn as Prime Minister of India on this day, that is January 24th, in the year 1966. Okay, and till now she remains the only woman Prime Minister, though we had Mrs. Pratibha Patil as our own woman president. In our country, female literacy rate is still 53.87%, and 1/3 of the youngster girls are malnourished. Ministry of Women and Child Development, they celebrate National Girl Child Day 2022 in the backdrop of 75 years of Indian independence, that is Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The theme for 2022, that is this year, is empowering girls for a better tomorrow. Now let us talk about the objectives of celebration of this particular day. We are celebrating this with an objective to promote gender equality, empowering women economically and socially, to provide better future to girls, to provide equal rights to girls to attain education, to provide protection to women against any kind of harassment, to provide freedom to girls to act against any violence, and also to stop child marriages, which are very much prevalent. And whatever we are going to talk about, the attracting the girls towards STEM, child marriages are a big hurdle, not only to study STEM, but to do any kind of studies or to move further in life. Child marriages are big hurdles. Okay, and I belong to a state of Rajasthan where we have so many child marriages on the occasion of Akha Teej. So they have child marriages in groups. So celebrating this day would also help us stop child marriages in a way. Now, if we talk about the constitutional rights that are given to women, we have so many articles. Our constitution has given us rights. There is one article called Article 14, which talks about fundamental right to equality before law. That is guarantee of equality before law to all persons and protection of them against discrimination by law. This forbids class legislation. Another article, Article 15, prohibition of discrimination on grounds of race, religion, caste, sex, or place of birth. This article, Dr. Shivani has already discussed in her talk. Now we have Article 16, that is equality of opportunity in terms of public employment. Everybody has equal opportunity, whether it is boy or a girl. Everybody has equal opportunity to be employed. Article 19, freedom of speech and expression and freedom of practice to any profession. Okay, everybody has freedom to speech and they can express and they are free to practice any kind of profession. Article 21, protection to life and personal liberty. This article secures two rights, that is right to life and right to personal liberty. Now, Article 300A, right to property, as pointed out by Dr. Man Singh, he said, yes, I also saw 2-3 days before only we got the news that now girls have right to the property of their father as the boys have. Okay, so do you think that having legal provisions is enough? I don't think so. Legal provisions, they are just there in shelves unless and until you and me, we make efforts to make them materialize. We all should make concerted efforts to make all this happen. Having law is not enough. You have to see that it is enforced. Again, very interesting figures to share that is reported by Lok Sabha in July 2021, that the percentage of women graduates in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine, what we are going to talk today, STEM. So the percentage of women graduates in STEM at tertiary level in India is higher compared to developed nations like the US, UK, Germany, and France. While in India, the female share of graduates in STEM was 42.72% in 2016. That of the US was 33.99%, Germany 27.14%, UK 38.10%, France 31.81%, and Canada 31.43%. The trend continued in 2017 and 18 when the percentage of women in STEM in India was 43.93 and 42.73 respectively. So I don't think we have less figures. If we compare even with the developed countries, we have a good figure. But where is the lacuna? Let us see. Women make up nearly 43% of the total graduates in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine in India, one of the highest in the world, but just 14% of scientists, engineers, and technologists in research development institutions and universities. This is a very sorry figure. That means we have women on board, but when it comes to working or when it comes to being something, they are disappearing. What is the reason? There could be many reasons. Somebody should conduct a research study on this. Reasons could be many. Social reasons in India. I remember even I was made to leave job and when I got married. So it happens with many of us, even after being MSc and being a gold medalist, it happens with you if you're from a very traditional society. So we need to really conduct some research and find out where are these women disappearing when we have 43% and then when it comes to becoming something, it is only 14%. The underrepresentation of women in STEM majors is common globally, but India presents a particularly curious case. Here, even though the number of women enrolling in STEM programs has been increasing year on year, we are having an exponential increase. The rising education levels ain't translating into employability or jobs. So what is happening? We have to find out this gap, okay? This is in stark contrast to many developed countries like the US, UK, Germany, or Sweden, okay? In Sweden, where fewer women study STEM at the tertiary level, for example, Sweden has an education and employability rate of 35 and 34% respectively for women in STEM, suggesting that even though the country trains fewer women in STEM than India, it can employ nearly all of them. So see, what is happening? Are there less jobs for women or they are not joining jobs? What is the reason? Like, why are the women disappearing when it comes to employability? Now the question arises, why we want more women in STEM? Answer is very crisp and clear. Men and women are two wheels of a cart, and if we put pressure only on one wheel, then you can imagine what will happen to the other wheel. So we want to have a balance among both the genders and want women also to be equal partners in development, be it research or economic development. Department of Science and Technology, Government of India is paying emphasis on this through GATI, that is Gender Advancement for Transforming Institutions. And I've learned that our ICR deemed universities have got this project and IARI is one. What are the hurdles? Hurdles at many steps. When it comes to women's underrepresentation in STEM in India, two major issues stand out. One relates to the entry and retention of women in science, and the other relates to the differences in career attainment among men and women scientists in the country, with women showing lower levels of attainment vis-a-vis their men peers. It happens, okay? We will also discuss about the reasons. The problem of losing qualified women in India starts at the level of higher education. Studies have found that despite a high tertiary female enrollment ratio in STEM subjects, students' choices within the subjects remain highly gendered, with women being particularly underrepresented in maths-intensive subjects. Women may believe they are more likely to get higher grades if they study humanities rather than STEM, while men believe they are more likely to gain parental approval for their college major choices if they study STEM. says a study conducted by Ashoka University scholars that is within our country. As per the All India Survey on Higher Education 2018-19, just 3% of women enroll in PhD in science and only 6% opt for a PhD in engineering and technology. This leaky pipeline in STEM means that fewer women end up reaching higher levels to be selected as professional scientists later. Another aspect of the problem relates to the retention of women post-entry into their fields after education. This is especially true in the context of many women researchers who, after having received their doctoral degrees, either don't pursue a career in science or end up taking a break in employment after starting their jobs. For this, all of us know that DST is making efforts for women scientists. They give them projects and in order to pursue their career if they have a break in their career and they are PhDs and all. This is reflected in the larger difference between the number of women and men doctorates pursuing postdoctoral research in comparison with the differences in number at the doctoral level, or the percentage of women scientists in tenured positions being lower than the percentage of women holding doctoral degrees. This is based on the study conducted by Niti Aayog. There is evidence that among STEM women, perceptions of incompatibility between their gender and STEM identities are related to a lesser sense of belonging, greater insecurity and less motivation in STEM, as well as greater expectations of dropping out of STEM. Yes, they drop out. I'll tell you the reason. When the girls get married, it is very difficult to continue your studies in the subject of agriculture or any other science subjects in STEM. When I talk about STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, medicine, it's not possible that you continue your studies after getting married. So that is why they go for humanities. That is the only reason I find okay. Then same gender role models seem to be more effective option for attracting young women into STEM. We should have some models in front of them, which I will talk later. As our society advances towards a more technologically advanced life cycle, it's clearer than ever that we need more women in STEM for a variety of reasons. There are more STEM positions than men can possibly fill, and we can't ignore the fact that the advancements in science that men make ain't always tailored to meet the needs of women as well. Frequently, this can be harmful or even life-threatening. Yes, statistics show that women's interest and comfort with STEM decrease with age. Definitely. Sadly, at an adult age, women's egos have already solidified and they may have already established their career path in a different field. In many cases, it may be hard or even impossible to bring back their willingness to work in STEM. Not only STEM, if women apply for any managerial positions and if they don't get, maybe men, they have more networking due to some political connections or something due to networking. If men get and they don't get, then, I'll tell you, their egos or whatever they want to achieve, achievement, motivation and all is lost because they feel, okay, it's not required. It's not required for me. But I don't think women should do like that. They should keep trying, try, and one day you will succeed. Thus, to make a massive scale impact, we need to start at a much earlier age. We need to make STEM for girls more accessible and eradicate the factors that discourage them. We have to find out what are the factors that are discouraging them. Hopefully, we need more women doctors, more engineers, more scientists, mathematicians, biotechnologists. Women have more patience than men and are sincere in their work. I'm not exaggerating if I say that once they come to office, they don't leave their seats till it is time for them to go. Men might go out for tea or smoking, but women have no swagging groups or no tea teams. How to encourage girls' interest in STEM? That is the area of concern. We have to expose girls to role models in STEM. Okay, Marian Wright Edelman, an American children's rights activist and the founder of the Children's Defense Fund, once said, "You cannot be what you cannot see." And this quote is extremely true when it comes to STEM for girls. While we learn about men in STEM and the impact they've had on the development of humanity, there have always been women in STEM who have gone against all odds, gender discrimination, and great societal pressure to pursue their passions. I'm that example in front of you. In my family, I was the first girl to go to the hostel to study agriculture. Until now, I'm the first since my niece is just in school. I remember how hard it was for me to convince my parents to allow me to pursue a degree which wasn't in the city where I stayed, that is Jodhpur. So one can imagine how it is. Okay, even if girls, they are motivated, self-motivation is there, but how to motivate the parents? That would be another aspect. That is another side of the coin. Though few, there are famous women in STEM without whom some advancement in science may have never happened. Yet, for a variety of reasons, their male counterparts receive most recognition and were associated with the final success. However, we rarely hear or learn about them, but we should. We frequently connect with historical figures, famous people, and fictional characters and use them as role models to inspire us to pursue our dreams. Yet, we cannot be inspired by people we don't know of. Therefore, to make STEM for girls less foreign, we need to make sure that they learn about female role models in STEM. I would rather say contact with successful female STEM role models can serve as social vaccines that protect the self-concept of women in STEM against stereotypes. Example of Maharaj Shivaji, everybody knows Jijabai was his mother, and she used to tell him stories of great warriors, okay, which injected a kind of he also became warrior because that was a kind of nurturing that his mother Jijabai did. Okay, same way our mothers should also do like this. The mothers should nurture their girls to go in for STEM subjects. We can take examples of Swaminathan, the nutritionist in WHO, Kalpana Chawla, Sunita Williams, Madame Curie, etc., and make our children aware of the girl child should be made aware that how people became, rather they should learn the success stories. They should go through the success stories of these women, how they became, how it happened in their life. That is very important, because if you know the success of somebody, then you become very bold. If I read the success story of a lady who was able to fight against all odds and come out with flying colors, that would really give me strength. So another thing could be, one is I said role models. Second could be drop gender stereotypes. We really have to drop gender stereotypes. That my son will become an engineer and daughter will become a doctor. Yes, doctor is also medicine, no problem. That is also STEM. But sometimes people have strong stereotypes. Like I remember when we are talking about role models, if you have your seniors joining veterinary, I remember when I completed my 12th standard in the year 1987, that time I heard that one of my seniors joined veterinary, which was something very strange those days. And now girls are just going after veterinary. And those days I remember I was selected for veterinary, but my father never wanted me to become an animal doctor. He only wanted me to become a human doctor, whereas I didn't want to become any of the doctors, so I was saved. Okay, so it's your choice also. Again, I came to STEM only. In STEM also we have so many subjects, not one. Okay, so you can join any of them. There is no denial, and STEM skills are becoming increasingly important for the future job market. And even now, we absolutely need more women in STEM. There is a growing surplus of unidentified STEM jobs, and science needs more female perspective and participation to make fields like medicine safer for women. So we should not have stereotypes that girls cannot become this or girls should become only this, okay? Yet the statistics on women in STEM paint a grim picture. Meanwhile, none of the reasons for the lack of women in STEM indicate that's due to biological differences, okay? Nonetheless, rather than encouraging STEM for girls, society keeps encouraging the gender gap. We say things like, you throw like a girl, as an insult, teaching children that doing something like a girl is wrong or despicable. As a result, as early as by the age of 6, girls learn gender stereotypes. That has a negative impact on their choices and confidence. Instead, we should focus on building their confidence. We need to teach girls that their input is needed in STEM and that society couldn't advance without them as fast as it could. So that is one, we should try to remove stereotypes. Third is teach how STEM can be applied in real life. That is very much important. In recent years, a variety of studies have focused on employees' job satisfaction. Curiously, they have concluded that job satisfaction is primarily affected by the level of recognition employees get at work. People care about their work being meaningful and making a difference in the world. The opposite can negatively affect our overall happiness levels. We spend at least a third of our life at work. So it makes sense that doing work, what we perceive as meaningless, would make us feel meaningless in other aspects of our life. What does it have to do with girls in STEM? Like any human, girls want to make an impact on the society and do something that is meaningful, yet STEM subjects are frequently seen as pointless or useless for girls. Combined with the social programming that STEM is for boys, it makes girls see STEM programs as something that is not for them. Yet this is further from the truth. Not only STEM skills are going to be crucial in future jobs, but they can also be used in day-to-day life. The subjects ain't the problem, the way they are taught is. Therefore, girls must learn how they can apply STEM in real life and how that can help them make a difference in the world. They can solve their day-to-day problems using STEM, and knowledge of STEM can help in providing better nutrition for herself. Yes, if the girl has knowledge of nutrition, she can help her family and herself be free from diseases, because if you eat good nutrition, definitely you won't need to visit the doctor very frequently. Make STEM classes more collaborative, but not too collaborative. Girls learn and consolidate their knowledge as well as come up with new ideas better when collaborating. Okay, we should have collaborations. Girls should be made to collaborate, but not too collaborative. Individual assignments should also be given. However, teachers need to be careful not to make classes simply a string of collaborative activities. Girls need to work on their own as well. Thus, the ideal learning environment should always be a mixture of both collaborative and individual work. Try all girls classes. We can also try all girls classes at a younger age. I remember earlier we had girls school specially, but these days we are having more co-ed rather than only girls school. Yes, only girls school are also important, because this can create a judgment-free environment where girls do not need to worry about the image and what boys think of them. Okay, and they can purely focus on learning. This could help them regain their confidence in STEM and not lose their passion for it. Now, what are your thoughts? How can we motivate girls to go for STEM subjects? Okay. First thing is, you must communicate with your daughters early and often. By the second or third grade, many young girls have begun to shy away from maths and science. Counter that tendency by talking to them about the many career opportunities now open to women in technology and engineering. If a girl develops an interest in STEM early on, that interest tends to have a domino effect, and she may well maintain that curiosity and attention throughout her years in school and into a STEM career. So we must communicate with them as early as second or third grade. I have been doing, whenever I meet any of my nieces or any relatives, I always try to motivate girls to go for STEM. And STEM, and when I talk about STEM, I always talk about agriculture, because we should motivate people to come to agriculture, being in the field. So think carefully about the words used to encourage your daughters or students' interest in STEM. In recent study, young girls were given simple science experiments to perform. Some were told they were doing science, while others were told they were being scientists. Those who were doing science expressed more interest in trying other experiments than the girls said that they were being scientists. The bottom line, encouraging your daughter's interest in STEM might be something as simple as telling them they can do science instead of saying they can be scientists. Turn the ordinary into a teaching moment. Yes, I wrote an example somewhere that one mother, she took her child to a restaurant and ordered for a full fish. When the child wanted to eat, child went through everything, the eyeballs, the bones of the fish, everything. So that is also a kind of, children, they can explore things. Same way, my son, my younger sister, she has a daughter. So small daughter, 5 years old. What she does is she grows pots and plants and everything, and then shows her everything. This is seed. Like at that young age, if you show them this is a flower, this is leaf, seed, everything, and later on when you talk about gynoecium, androecium, everything, like if the mother is educated, she can also teach the child and develop interest for STEM subjects. Rekindle an old interest. Perhaps you were something of a math whiz during your college years. Dig out those old nooks or take advantage of online resources to rekindle that interest and share what you have relearned with your daughter. Learn with them. If you feel intimidated by STEM subjects, confront the fear and along with your daughters. Online platforms, we have online platforms called Jumpstart, which is provided by the Girl Scouts of Northeast Texas, and it helps adults learn to conduct a number of STEM related activities and teaching moments. So you can take advantage of technology to pick girls' interests. In classroom, teachers can expand lesson activities and, for example, use 3D technology to help girls design things like a space rover to explore a distant planet. This innovative use of technology makes STEM fun and encourages girls to start thinking of themselves doing science and eventually becoming scientists. We have to teach girls to be brave, not perfect. A girls who code emphasizes when it comes to STEM courses, success does not necessarily come overnight. Help girls by encouraging them to be bold, take risks, and accept imperfection. Celebrate the occasional failure as a healthy part of the process. In the end, building resilience is the key. Also try to connect your daughters or your students or your neighbors or your nieces to older female role models. That is very much important, okay? It is important for young girls to engage with women who have succeeded in STEM careers. Even one exposure to a role model can have a lasting positive effect. As Lida Hill says, if we can see it, then she can be it. As a parent, if you are not from STEM, still motivate your daughter. My father and mother, both from humanities, like I'm just citing my own example. My father and mother both are from humanities, but they motivated me and my brother both to go for STEM. My brother went for mathematics, like he became an engineer, and me, my father wanted me to become a medical doctor. So that's why I had biology. Later on, I ended up into agriculture, and I'm very happy. Same way, I have a son. I motivated him to go for agriculture, and right now he's doing his master's degree in genetics and plant breeding from Sher-e Kashmir University of Agricultural Sciences, Jammu, where Dr. JP Sharma is there, and I'm very thankful to Dr. JP Sharma, who has helped me with the internet and all for this particular session. So this is how we can motivate, people are around you. And there are many other ways. Like what I have done is I have my own YouTube channel, and I have made videos on successes of entrepreneurs, like women as well as boys, both in the field of agriculture, different agricultural sciences, maybe horticulture, even home science, dairy, everything I've done. And I've made videos, and I also have a success story project I had, ICR project. So in that I've done. And though I think this can really motivate, whenever I go to take sessions for students, I always show those videos and give them links. So this is the way we can motivate people to join STEM courses. And you consider being a mentor. If you have training and experience in STEM field, consider making time to become a mentor, either on the job or by volunteering at a school or an organization, such as the Best Robotics, First Robotics, Girl Scouts, anything you can. And mentoring either on the job or through a school or civic organization is one of the most important ways of building confidence among younger people. Time and again, many successful women give credit to their mentors for helping them reach their career goals. I remember when I was a child staying in Jodhpur, there was one Dr. Ishwar Prakash Mathur. He was a big scientist at Kazri, Jodhpur, and he was taking care of ecripon rodents. Later on, he became Director Zoological Survey of India. So I remember he was a kind of mentor for me. Like he always used to tell me, "Ye karo Surya, do this, do." So, and even when I participated in science fair, he was the one who helped me develop a project. And later on, I got prize at national level. So that is how you get mentoring, parents. My father was a professor of English, but I had connections with people they were my neighbors and also in Kazri. And I still remember, I thank those scientists. And today I'm a principal scientist in ICARI itself. So this is how mentoring helps, and you should celebrate female success and make female visibility in STEM in the norm, not an anomaly. Okay, there are endless opportunities and resources to help make girls aware of what women have done and continue to accomplish in STEM fields. One example of excellence and success might change the course of a young woman's life. Now, what you and me can do, we can organize seminars on women and non-conventional careers. Non-conventional means where we have less women. Go to schools and conduct lectures for the students at grade 9 and 10. Okay, why? Because these are the deciding years for them to choose their optional subjects. And we have been doing, since I'm at NAM, we have forecast batches coming. And when they go for this field extension training, there we go to schools and we conduct these programs. Okay. Then personality development, confidence and interest. You have to develop confidence and interest among the girls to go for STEM. And think of equity and equality. Equality, we know we have already talked, but equity means giving some special provisions to girl students, okay, to join STEM. Maybe some scholarships or some reservations or whatever. Like girls have been getting reservations in agriculture. I have seen girls are outnumbering boys now. And we can also have awareness programs for parents. All said and done, without parents' involvement, nothing will happen, because you motivate the girl wants to go in for STEM, but if parents are creating hurdles, then it won't be possible. So with this, I take my seat and I request everyone at all levels, try to motivate girls to join STEM. And I also thank the organizers for inviting me as a resource person for this talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for a wonderful lecture, as well as highlighting the importance of women in each sector. Now I request Dr. R.R. Burman to kindly display the selfies of students or with their daughters, selfies of parents with their daughters. Thank you, sir. I now humbly request our Honorable Director, IARI, Dr. A.K. Singh, to give his remarks for today.
Thank you, Angel, very much. This has been a wonderful day. I'm speechless to say anything, and I would not dare to dilute the excellent effect that has been left on each one of us by the poem recited by the postgraduate students, Balaji, Simar, Anupma, Latif, Aarti, Dipti, and Amika, and two wonderful presentations by Shivani and Dr. Surya in detail, how we can empower girls by providing them good education, providing them freedom to do what they want to do. And at the same time, this wonderful collection of selfie with daughters that has been presented. So I'm so pleased to, be part of this entire program. I would like to request the organizers, and someone can take lead, Dr. Verman, Dr. Padaria, to immediately, if we can bring out a good publication, including the two, all the poems recited by the students, the two presentations in print form, and all the selfies following that, as a mark of celebration of the Girls' Child Day today. So this should be brought out as a good publication, and we can circulate it as one important activity. Today, of course, we have to inform to council about the activity, but we should bring it in form of a good document, because this is a memorable event that we have done. I think Dr. Man Singh has done some exercise on also the students who recited poems, and he has identified some winners. All have done extremely well, and in fact, all are winners. But there was a protocol and a procedure decided. So that you'd like to announce, Dr. Man Singh, you have done that?
Sir, I would give this good privilege to your good self. Let it be announced, but I've shared that with you, and maybe it would be appropriate.
So I received on the WhatsApp, and the according to that collective judgment, the first position goes to Simardeep Kaur for her wonderful poem that's recited, and then second to Aarti, and we have Deepthi and Balaji to share the third rank. And all of them, they did extremely well. Congratulations to each one of them. हम लोगों के बीच में इतनी छुपी प्रतिभाएं हैं जिनको ऐसा मौका हमारे समझ से हम लोगों को बीच में निकालना चाहिए, ताकि ये सारी छुपी प्रतिभाएं सामने आएं और उनसे हम सभी लोग लाभान्वित हों। डॉक्टर सूर्या राठौर का विशेष रूप से मैं धन्यवाद करता हूं। इन्होंने इतनी अच्छी तरह से स्टेम के लिए, ये बात सही रही है कि शुरू से ही जो है इंजीनियरिंग के प्रति, मैथमेटिक्स के प्रति, इन विषयों के प्रति लड़कियों का रुझान कम रहा है। कहीं न कहीं उनके मन में भावना शुरू से भर दी जाती है कि ये शायद तुम्हारे बस की बात नहीं है, तुम्हारे लिए नहीं है। तो इसका प्रभाव लॉन्ग टर्म में होता है और इसमें उनको मोटिवेट करने की जरूरत है। इसके साथ ही साथ मेरा ये भी मानना है कि हर बच्चे की जब उसका विकास हो रहा होता है, ग्रोथ हो रही होती है, तो उसकी एक कुछ अपनी स्वेच्छा से कुछ करने की अपनी क्षमता होती है। तो उसका भी हमको क्लोजली अध्ययन करना चाहिए कि हमारा बच्चा क्या करना चाहता है। तो ऐसा नहीं हो कि कई बार हम उनके ऊपर कोई चीज थोपने का प्रयास करें कि नहीं तुम यही करो, क्योंकि शायद जो अपनी इच्छा से जो करना चाहते हैं, अगर उनको सारा मौका हम उनको देते हैं, we support them in all way in that direction, they will do probably much better what they want to do. So I have my personal experience. I wanted to motivate both my daughters for bio, being a biologist myself and also my wife, both, but we could not succeed. So ultimately we left them to do what they want to do. So one went to, as you saw, she spoke today on social science, international relations. She chose to specialize in that. The other one went to architecture, but they did not prefer to come to biology. And I find it's good, when you have your child in your own field, then you are all the time worry about their, settlement, their employment and things of that kind. You have to explore your resources and all those things. So probably, I think while STEM is extremely important, and there has to be, partnership in this area as well. Opportunity should be given, motivation should be given, but at the same time, we should really assess what they actually want to do. So I think this has been, you will all agree, this has been a great day. I congratulate all the organizers for doing this program so well, and we have been joined by large number. As a matter of fact, we had almost 250 people joined during all the times. Many of these qualities which have been described by different speakers, when we try to see into our mythological character, then one character that I find is goddess Durga, a best example of single entity embodying the ferocity as well as compassion, the equal parts destroyer and creator, and life and story provides invaluable learning for people who are bringing up a girl child. I would just like to share some of these points here. There are several qualities that are inherently present in a girl child that we as caregivers should be aware of and conscious about nurturing. Let's look at some of these. For example, power of transformation. So we know that goddess Durga transformed herself into many different avatars. हम नौ दुर्गा की पूजा करते हैं नवरात्रि के समय, and depending on the situation she was presented with. The women mirrored this trait in everyday life, smoothly transitioning from daughter to employee to sister and brothers. अगर मदर के बाद अगर छोटे भाई बहनों की सबसे ज्यादा केयर कोई करता है तो बड़ी बहन करती है, then to wife and then to mother. So this dexterity ought to be treasured, celebrated and appreciated much more than it perhaps is, and ought to start from the time a girl child is born. The second important character that we must look into is holistic strength. So Durga also displays and demonstrates that she was strong of mind and body. She was not just a woman who was a great physical warrior, but also an individual who had tremendous psychological resolve. This again is a quality that is present in all women, something that ought to be applauded and amplified and lesson learned from. Then being collaborative, taking strength from different sources, like when Durga had to overcome Mahishasur, her endeavor to conquer him was the culmination of a collaborative enterprise. All the various gods who put their mights and trust in her helped her overcome the demon monster. In real life too, women are naturally prone to draw from people around them. If a girl child is surrounded by people who are positive, loving, embracing, and encouraging, there is virtually no limit to the height that child can reach as a grown woman. Then facing fears is another, great strength that is there in the girl child, like it was in goddess Durga. Duality. Durga is one of the best example of single entity embodying ferocity as well as compassion, as I said earlier. Equal part destroyer and creator. Durga's life and story provides invaluable learning for people who are bringing up a girl child, that your precious daughter has a duality of purpose that should be treasured. Let us take inspiration from goddess Durga's own life and develop a genuine understanding, appreciation, and respect for girl child. For if there were not girls on the planet, there would not be a planet. So, friends, this has been a wonderful, morning, and now we are in the afternoon. I would like to congratulate each one of you on the day of National Girl Child Day, and congratulate you, and also request the organizer to kindly bring out this publication in a compiled form at the earliest possible. I would like to thank each one of you, Dr. Man Singh being in the jury and being present all through, Dr. Surya Rathore for wonderful oration, Dr. Rashmi, Dr. B.S. Tomer for organizing the program, Angel for organizing this program so well, and all those who are associated, all the fathers who contributed the selfie with daughters. And those who have not, I would request them to kindly send it. Still time is there before we are going to compile it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, Anjali, you are mute. Can you unmute?
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful and remarkable remarks. Now we have come to the end, and everything that has a beginning should end, but the end should be a happy one. So it is time to acknowledge those working behind and who have contributed for this program. I kindly request Dr. Rashmi Agarwal, Dean Ma'am, to present the formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Angel. And sir, you have already summarized it so well, our director, sir, and he has also thanked all those who really made this today's day a wonderful day and wonderful celebration on National Girl Child Day. So it was really, I endorse director, sir. And I'm so grateful and thankful to our director that he motivated, planned, and guided us in organizing this wonderful day today, the National Girl Child Day today. And I'm so thankful to Shivani Singh, Director Sir's daughter, that she gave such a nice presentation and telling about global and the Indian status of women and especially the girls in higher education. So that was really wonderful and very motivating to us, and a proud daughter of proud parents. So I must congratulate her for doing PhD in security, nuclear security area at UK. I'm so thankful to Dr. Surya Rathore, and very nicely she presented and taking every common man and all the common persons, mediocres and the middle class families also into consideration, how we can motivate our children to get into science and technology fields rather than humanities, which normally is there in almost many middle class families. So how we can motivate them. Thank you, Dr. Surya Rathore, for the wonderful lecture you gave today. And I'm so thankful to Dr. Man Singh. In a very brief initial remarks, he gave us very good points that what is there in a woman or the girl child, which can be really motivated, and then how they can be successful in their careers. And the judging committee chairman also, Professor Man Singh, and also all the judging committee members. I'm so thankful that they, on a very short notice, they did this job. And so thankful to all the students participants. Very nicely they gave us thoughts, their own poems which they had written, and they expressed their feelings on a very diverse aspects of a girl child, and how they what they emotionally and otherwise feel, how they can be brought to the level maybe equal to men in this world. So congratulations to all the winners also, and they have really done so well. And Deepthi for organizing this particular event, the poem recitation competition event, in a very short notice. So I'm so thankful to them. And I'm thankful to all the head of the division, all directors of the sister institutes, their staff, scientists, all staff of our IARI students who really join in great number. At one time, we had around 270 participants. So it is really good number, and it had been a great day today. So thank you all the other organizers. My special thanks to Dr. B.S. Tomar, Joint Director Extension. He and we together were all through working, and Dr. Alka Singh, she had been really a pillar, and she contacted Dr. Surya Rathore and organized this wonderful lecture. And I will fail in my duties if I do not thank Dr. Burman, who really generated the link and organized and did all the exercise of taking selfies and presenting them. And finally, Dr. Angela. Thank you, Dr. Angela, for really connecting and anchoring so well. So each one of you, thanks a lot, and thank you for all the help and the cooperation given by each one of you. Thank you.
Dr. I also want to thank one of our staff daughter who is with us since morning, Miss Sanvika, Dr. Sarwan Singh daughter. I could see she is very restlessly enjoying what have been said and what he has. I feel she has understood very well. And I'm thankful, Dr. Sarwan, for allowing her to join the program. And we are thankful to you and your daughter.
Yes, Anrika, good to see you. Yeah, I saw you from beginning, since morning you are here. Wonderful.
So thank you, one and all, for a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.